Hi everyone, and welcome to Disciplinary Literacy Instruction in a Science Classroom. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. As you know, my name is Maria Morfin. I have been teaching English for the past 5 years. I started my teaching career in Dallas, where I taught 6th grade English for 2 years. Then I moved back home to Los Angeles, and now I teach. For the past 3 years, I've been teaching English, 5th grade English in East Los Angeles. I'm very passionate about literacy. I really believe that literacy is the key that students need to unlock their success across content areas. And currently, I'm a graduate student at Cal State Fullerton, and I'm working to obtain my master's in literacy. Here's our agenda for today, and you have a hard copy of this in front of you, and this is how we're going to use the remainder of our time together. In a little bit, we're going to go ahead and hit up on what's the purpose and our goals for our time together. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about what disciplinary literacy instruction is and why it is important that it exists in all of our classrooms. And then I want to spend some time highlighting the excellent work that our science teachers are doing in science class with disciplinary literacy instruction. After that, we'll spend I want to propose 2 areas of growth, and I want to give you 2 strategies that you can use in your classroom to improve literacy, to include disciplinary literacy instruction in your classroom, and ultimately to improve teaching and learning. To close off, we'll spend some time sharing some takeaways that we had, and then we'll leave you with some great resources that you can explore during your own time. So let's go ahead and get started. Here you have our goals for today. The purpose of our time together is multifold. Today, I hope that you will be able to name at least 3 examples of disciplinary literacy instruction in your classroom. I also hope that you are able to name at least 2 areas of growth in terms of disciplinary literacy instruction in your classroom, and be able to explain how leveraging these areas is important for teaching and learning. But most importantly, I want you to leave today with at least 2 strategies that you can use and implement within the next couple weeks in your classroom to improve disciplinary literacy instruction. So what is disciplinary literacy instruction? Sikoris Co. Describes disciplinary literacy as it involves the task and process of reading, thinking, inquiring, speaking, writing, and communication required for learning and developing discipline-appropriate content knowledge. And from this point forward, I'm going to refer to disciplinary literacy instruction as DLI. So why does it matter? Why does it matter that kids are able to read, write, listen, speak across content areas? And it matters for a variety of reasons, but I want to emphasize what I believe are the most important reasons. Ultimately, we all want our students to be college, career, and workforce ready, and the jobs of today demand that students be able to read, write, speak, listen, communicate, think critically. And to prepare our students for college and our career, it is important and imperative that we are helping equip our students with the tools they will need to be able to read, write, think, and communicate clearly in whatever career they choose for themselves. And I just want to say there are some great things happening in our 5th grade science classrooms in terms of disciplinary literacy instruction. I noticed that in our 5th grade science classrooms, students are reading informational texts. For example, at the start of each unit, the teachers provide students with an article to help them build their background knowledge. And this is important because students need to be exposed to text in all content areas. And Sikoris Co. explains that in a disciplinary literacy instruction classroom or in a DLI classroom, students engage with rigorous texts that they learn from. And when our students get to college, they need to be able to tackle these complex scientific articles And exposing them to such texts in 5th grade is helping them grow accustomed to reading and grappling with difficult texts, while at the same time, they're learning content area. So I want to applaud you for your work there with providing students with opportunities to engage with informational texts. Another thing that I noticed that's happening in our classrooms is that a lot of teachers are spending, or especially our 5th grade science teachers, are spending a significant amount of time carefully planning for vocabulary instruction. Prior to the start of each unit, teachers are selecting vocabulary words that students must learn in order to be able to access the content that's going to be covered throughout the unit. And Segurius Co. recommends that careful planning of vocabulary instruction because it can produce, and I quote, content knowledge in quality discourse and transfer to other subjects and contexts, and develop a classroom environment that is rich in discipline-specific vocabulary, end quote. And the time that you guys are taking to plan vocabulary instructions allows you to focus on words that students are likely to encounter in later units or in future science classes. And by narrowing your focus on vocabulary instruction or on the words that you choose to teach, you're setting up students for success because they will be more likely to understand the content when they know the meaning of these scientific words. Another great thing that I noticed that's happening in our science classrooms is that students are engaging in meaningful activities. Every once in a while, I get kids come up to tell me that today they did an awesome demonstration about the water cycle, and this is important. Antiquaria School shares that DLI teachers, and I quote, need to know how to organize and present material in relevant, meaningful, active, hands-on, and authentic ways to promote active engagement and higher order thinking skills, end quote. It is clear that you guys understand that engagement is key to learning, and therefore you're planning these scientific demonstrations in which students truly enjoy, they're having fun, but at the same way, they're learning in authentic ways and they're thinking critically while they are learning and having fun. And these engaging activities are those activities that really help our students learn. These are the times when our students, when learning comes to life and they're truly internalizing what's presented to them. And as you can tell, you guys are doing some amazing things with disciplinary literacy instruction, and I just wanted to make sure we highlighted them before we started. Students are reading these scientific articles and exposing, that exposure to rigorous texts, really preparing them for what's to come in their academic career. The planning of meaningful instruction helps you focus on those key words that students will need to access content, especially in a science classroom where there's so many words to teach, and from a day-to-day basis, students don't really engage with scientific vocabulary words. It's super important that whatever words they are learning, it's meaningful for them. And you guys are doing a great job of planning that for students. And you are also doing a great job of planning these meaningful and engaging activities that help students have fun while they are learning. And just like in everything, everything that we do, we have a lot of areas of strengths, and there are also areas of growth. And in my opinion, I think that there are two areas where DLI can be improved in our 5th grade science classrooms. And to improve teaching and learning in these science classrooms, I propose that there be an adjustment to vocabulary instruction and to how science articles are read as well. And I first want to spend some time looking at vocabulary instruction and proposing a different approach to vocabulary instruction. We'll have some time I'll model an example for you, and then you'll have some time to practice actually creating your own lesson, and then we'll move on to close reading of science articles. So currently, the way that teachers are instructing with vocabulary and the way that students are learning, I think can be improved by just shifting the way vocabulary is taught. So currently we are providing students with the definitions of unknown words, and students copy the definition down on a guidance note sheet. But Segurius quos argue, and I quote, that explicit instruction does not mean stand and deliver for 45 or 50 minutes, end quote. But unfortunately, I'm seeing this in our science classrooms when it comes to vocabulary instructions. I find that sometimes we're doing a lot, as adults, we're doing a lot of the talking, and students are simply copying down the definitions. And students are not having opportunities to engage with the words aside from copying them down, copying their definition down on a note sheet. And because in science there are so many complex words that students don't often engage with on a day-to-day basis, it is so important that we are creating opportunities for students to interact with the words and the definitions in order to truly help students internalize the meaning of the word, and because ultimately if they know the word, then they're able to access content. Copying the definition down on a piece of paper does not necessarily mean that students are internalizing the word, and if we don't not sure that students are internalizing the word, then we can't be sure that they're able to access content either. So I want to propose one thing. So as Ikorusko explained, science vocabulary instruction requires teachers to, and I quote, identify the key vocabulary word, explains to students why it is important that they master these words related to the word with previously learned ones or concepts, pronounce them, and allow for student collaboration and discussion for word meanings, usage, and science content. And as a content team, our science teachers are already doing a great job. You guys are doing a great job of carefully selecting high leverage words. And now really it's just a matter of refining the way that vocabulary instruction is executed so that students are actually internalizing the words. For this reason, I think that I want to propose, and I think that teaching and learning in the science classrooms would improve in terms of DLI, using Marzano's 6 steps to vocabulary instruction. So in front of you in your packet, on the next page, you will find this template, and it's called Marzano's 6 steps to vocabulary instruction. And on this template, on your sheet, you're gonna find a template that looks pretty similar to mine. And Marzano's 6 steps to vocabulary instruction engages students with new vocabulary words through the different stages of instruction. I want to model this 6 steps of vocabulary instruction for you. So we're going to have to pretend that you're my students and I'm the teacher and we're in a classroom. And let's pretend that I'm trying to teach you the word decomposer. And on your blank template, I want you to go ahead and write the word decomposer for me. Okay, class, together, can we say decomposer at the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Decomposer. Okay, so first I'm going to provide you with step 1. I'm going to provide you with either an example or pictures of the word of what the word decomposer means. So this fungus is a decomposer. This insect is also a decomposer. Notice what it's doing with the soil in front of it. And these worms are decomposers as well. Think about what would the worms be doing with the soil and with the items found in the soil. Alrighty. So now I want to give you 1 minute, and with your table partners, I want you to go ahead and discuss, what do you think the word decomposer means? 30 seconds. Ready? Go.